the first person that I'm going to bring to the stage has some pretty incredible credentials that I wanted to share with you briefly. Now, you're used to some incredible firepower on this stage, especially if you've been here many years. You've seen Bill Clinton and Colin Powell and Arianna Huffington and Cory Booker and all of the great speakers that we've had, even within the last 24 hours. So it might not surprise you when I tell you that the next speaker was on the 30 social entrepreneurs under 30 Forbes list of 2014. Or that his writings on poverty appear in the New York Times and CNN, or that he was honored by President Clinton for the innovative funding model of the CEO, the nonprofit that he founded and he's now the leader of, or that he got a full scholarship to an Ivy League university and then gave the welcome commencement address at his own commencement, or that he speaks 6 languages. But take my word for it that even though that makes him a 1 in a million, there's even more to his story. But the best person to tell that story is Kennedy himself. So at this time, I'd like to welcome Kennedy Odede up to the stage and to thank Barclays for putting us in touch. I know many of you know Kennedy. It's our honor and privilege to have him up here with us.
Thanks. Wow. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I will speak slowly because I'm from Kenya and I speak fast. But I have 2 things to say. One is that it's a story. This is a sad story. At the same time, it's a story of hope. So don't worry, it has a happy ending. Yeah. Good. Okay. Let's start with where I come from. I was born and I grew up in a big slum in Africa. It's called Kibera Slum. Kibera Slum can be compared to Central Park, the size. Lives over 1 million people. No house, no good housing, no running water, no roads, no health clinic, no schools. It's really poverty. And I happen to be the eldest kid in the family. We were 8. And I had a very strong mom who was really going out to do laundry, to bring food. What you could see was violence, hopelessness. And when you're born there, you know there is no way out. As you know, Kenya is a class country. Your world is that poverty. I never knew what's happening outside. I remember the only person who was rich, if I remember well as a kid, was my neighbor who was having 2 wives. And they were all eating every day. I'm like, wow, they are rich people. Because I never knew how the world looked like. You know what I mean? So in the family, it was a hard life. My stepdad was abusive. My mother tried so hard to bring food. And we spent days with no food. I remember what we used to have was porridge or water. Anytime you have food, you have to pray because you are so lucky. You know, food is something big. So one day, even though we used to struggle, my mother was a woman with big heart. So I remember when she used to cook and the neighbor's kid could come. And I'd be like, Mom, can I kick these kids out? And she's like, Kennedy, no. Like, Mom, we never had food. This is our only special thing that we should have now. Why are they coming? Kennedy, you have to understand the idea of sharing. Sharing doesn't mean you have to be rich or poor. It should come from your heart. So that's something that I took. But something happened. At a very early age, when I reached 10, so now there's no food. You have a parent that they can't provide for you. So what next? I ran away at the age of 10. I went on the street to be a homeless kid, street boy, living by myself and other street boys. Stealing, using drugs, because you don't see hope. You look around, you don't see anybody who have made it, and you know that's your life. And that has forced other people to join the gang. It forced even young ladies at the age of 12 just to trade their body, not because they want, but for food. You know what I mean? So there's no way you can judge, you know what I mean? So for me, I say, why in the house? Let me go eat from the garbage, try to steal from people around, and survive. But something happened to me on the street. I was able to meet a Catholic priest who through there I never went to school because of poverty. But I used to love reading. I could collect the newspapers and read them. But what really changed my life was to read a story, a autobiography of someone by the name Martin Luther King Jr. So I look at myself in the slum, there is no way out, and you understand, you want to carry a gun. Why do you carry a gun in your hand? You know there's no way. You either live or die. No need of living. Life is so hard. And here comes a man from that struggle and say that there's a way. So Martin Luther King Jr. became my hope. I'm like, wow, this is a person who through hard time was able to stand up to change the life of his community and his life, not through violence. And I said there is hope for me too. So the man became my role model. So Martin Luther King Jr. compared with my mom, which was about sharing, I'm like, yeah. but what next? I became lucky to get a job when I reached 15, to get a job at the factory, which was industrial area. It was a really dangerous job. But all the time I was going to work in the factory, other people were so happy. But I, Kennedy, I was crying and saying, why? Why this struggle? $1, 10 hours. It's really dangerous job. But the rest of the workers were like, they are so happy they have a job. But me, I'm crying. What is my future? My mother had me at the age of 15. Do we have poverty in our blood or what? I don't see future. So one day, I come back from work, and I found my best friend. His name is Boy, has been shot by the police, dead. And I'm like, wow, this is hard life. The same month, what else happened is that my best friend, another friend is called Calvin's. For Calvin's, there's no way out. He took a rope and hanged himself, which is called committing suicide. There was a letter written, I can't live this life anymore. Enough is enough. And it's gone. I was the guy who opened the door. So that became really stressful. And like, you ask yourself sometimes, why do you live? You know, why do you have to live? This is really terrible. But that's not enough. Many challenges in life. What really hit me was my sister. Again, at the age of 15, is abused and having a kid. I call this, you know, there's what you call the poverty cannot run away sometimes. You know, it's called the cycle of poverty. Think about this. My mother at the age of 15 having Kennedy. My sister at the age of 15 has been abused and pregnant. And you're like, what's this? That was the time that I came from work and I used my 20 cents from $1 and I bought a soccer ball. And I took this ball, I went back to the community and I say, we are forming a movement. And when you're trying to do something good, there will always be challenges. So everybody was like, Kennedy, where is the donor? You met a donor somewhere? And I'm like, you know what, guys? Non-profit looks for donors. Movement says enough is enough. That we have to solve our own problem. We cannot wait. We come together to help ourselves. And a movement was formed that is now called Shining of a Community. It's so funny that I don't think I could get any money from corporate society because no writing proposal. We didn't know how to write proposal. But there was a burning anger that we're going to change our own life. We have to change our own life. So what happened? Let me show you our first office. Okay. Yes. And so that's my friend George. And how do you go back? Good, yeah, okay, I got it. Perfect, I was waiting for that. This is our first office. We were so proud to have our office, which is made from the iron sheets. We could come together, discuss issues, help each other, and it became so big. My idea was that we're gonna shine. And if we shine, people will want to be part of us. We won't go to them because of what they want, but we're gonna drive our agenda. And that's what happened. A movement grew up, and I was able to get a scholarship. I was able to transform the gangs in the community, to start supporting women issues, and it became something people were so proud of. And I got my scholarship. I went to the Wesleyan University, Connecticut. Life is changing. And I'm like, I'm here at Wesleyan, my first shower, a lot of food. I'm like, wow, what about back home? What about women like my mom? We have to find something for that. So what happened was that, so I knew the idea is to have a school for girls, because women in my community were really abused. Look at women like my mom, who was so smart, could never go to school. Look at my sisters. Look at these women in my community. And I'm like, if you have a school for girls, that will be the only way out. So I went back from Wesleyan to build this school, and it really became a huge impact. So now let me try to be statistics. So the center idea is the girl child education, but it's helping the entire community. So I have to convince everybody, like, we're going to have a school for girls, connect with other social services, which is our education, community empowerment programs, water and sanitation, and health. I think this will be the solution for urban poverty. And it will start with a girl. And honestly, I became to women issue. I didn't study feminism in Kibera, but I saw it by my eyes. These women selling vegetables on the street, their husbands, they are drinking, no money coming in. My mother waking up early in the morning, just worried about us as kids, to go and do laundry, just to bring food for us. You know what I mean? So I knew we can empower women in my community, we can solve our problems. That would be the start. But for men not to be mad with us, we have to also to have things like library, all those kind of community programs. So it's really working well, so everybody feels benefit. Yeah. So yes, this is our community health clinic that serves 40,000 people. And it's really, my friend, I remember one of my neighbors who died because there's no clinic in the community. So that was my dream, one day we're going to have our own clinic, and it's working. And then Evelyn, I love Evelyn. Evelyn is now a businesswoman. She's employed 6 people with a peanut. This is through what we call economic empowerment programs that will help you, we loan people to start small businesses. And now we can educate our own kids. He's a single mother, but he's really happy because, and he now employs 6 people working for her. That's change. My friend Nicholas Christoph came to see what we are doing in Kibera, and we have the biggest water in Kibera. It is like 100,000 liter that serves over 15,000. Always queue, never enough, as you can see. Those are people who are really something that we take for granted sometimes here. Look, jerrycan, just to be online for hours to get to clean drinking water. I believe in impact, measurement, data. So we have what is called a barcode, that every time who comes, we can measure who is using it and the link. So an idea was born in the Kibera. It is now growing, and we are now building our second site in Mathare slum. Mathare is the second largest slum in Kenya. It has 700,000 people. Where are we heading to the next 6 months? I have to say that we have really had a big impact in the community. Our girls at the school is from pre-K to 8th grade, but now we only have 5th grade. Every year we add one class. They have been #1 in the district. Kids from the ghetto, #1, beating all those rich people in Kenya. That was a big news in Kenya. So that's a big impact. And then we could never be where we are, honestly, if not people. Because I believe even the companies, corporates, they are being led by people and people with heart. This has been possible through the support of Barclays, Newman's Foundation, and GE. So we are able to have, and this year we're going to reach 70,000 people. So it's just a movement. So what I want to say is that this is a story of hope. I never believed one day I'll be able to be somewhere like this. Seriously. Because I could look ahead, I couldn't see any hope. But what I knew was that I have to keep trying. And we have to believe in what we believe in. Because everyone trying to make a world a better place. And what I passed through is a symbol that the world can be a better place if all of us can work hard. Thank you so much.